New character drip marketing just dropped. It's 2.0 all over again. We have the big five. We have to start with our girl Frolova. I know a lot of people are excited about her. I'm just going to give my opinions on the different characters that showed up and kind of what I think about their story relevance and what they'll do in the story. So, Frolova, like I said, looking forward to her. There's a lot to say, but yet we kind of know and knew she was going to show up. Based on what we saw in the live stream, it seems like she's going to be playing a more active role, I guess you could say, obviously, because she's going to show up soon. So one of the things I thought was really interesting was in the live stream, they basically said this thing of like, she was somewhere, but then essentially gets called to her homeland. And that's really interesting. It's like, we're not sure if her homeland is actually Renacida or not. Based on the trailer, it was kind of confusing, but it did say that she seemed to be like almost placated by the reverie, which makes you think like, yeah, Renacida is where she was like, maybe she was trying to live a normal life in Renacida, but then ended up getting called back to her homeland. So specifically like the melodies, and we know she's like a musically inspired character with like the whole conducting thing and all that. So yeah, honestly, really excited about it. Looking forward to seeing what she does. I have some things that I'll be sharing in my lore video about her and her significance, but just like I said, from a design perspective, she looks amazing. She's probably one of my most anticipated characters in terms of like characters that we didn't know. I love her accent. I love her design. I have a weakness for white hair. She doesn't literally have white hair, but you know, like the gray there. Now, this looks different to me. I don't know if she always had these pink highlights. You tell me in the comments. I'm not sure if she always had pink highlights in her hair. I don't know if I remember that. But all in all, I'm looking forward to it. Any character that has anything remotely close to like music in them, as somebody who is a musician myself, I went to school for music. I'm already going to be on board. So yeah, just off rip, really great design. Really great design. So the next character we have, we're gonna go like I said in order, in my opinion, of what's gonna be like story relevant. Augusta looks like she honestly looks amazing. It's really gonna be a thing of just like which characters do you go to skip. Fortunately, I'm not skipping any of them. I have 2 accounts, so I'm just gonna get them all. But I definitely sympathize with people who are still wondering who they want to go for. So like I said, she looks amazing. I love that she has armor. Like I really like the fact that they gave her the armor. It really, makes it more believable. Just this whole design is very culturally significant. Augusta is kind of like, let's be realistic here, right? She's basically the female version, and I'm just checking to make sure that I don't sound silly, but I believe it's Caesar, right? Isn't Caesar's last name Caesar Augustus, the Roman emperor. And so for those of y'all who don't know, septimont is based on Rome. Septimonium is a Roman festival. And so septimont, meaning 7 hills, in literal sept is 7, and mont meaning mountains, hills, what have you. 7 mountains, 7 hills. So yeah, she's the Roman emperor, basically. She's Caesar Augustus, but a woman. So she's Augusta. But yeah, like honestly, she looks really cool. I'm a big sucker for broad blade characters. But what's really interesting is in her blade, and we saw it in like the special record trailer that they showed for Wuthering Waves. It's really interesting that her blade seems to be comprised of a bunch of small blades. You can kind of see them right here too. And they kind of like break apart from the blade. So yeah, I have a theory. Okay, so we have to do this for every character. I should have said this for Frolova. But in terms of what element I think they are, I think Frolova is going to be a Havoc character. I think she's going to be Havoc. I think she's going to deal with coordinated attacks. And I think she's going to be like a puppet master. And kind of like, so basically just think about the Hecate boss battle that we do. That. Havoc is kind of like, she has like the little clones of herself, the Hecate boss does. And she sends the clones. So it's like a boss battle, like a coordinated attack, essentially. She has those little eyes above her. I think, she's a conductor, right? So I'm thinking like a puppet master of some sort. And so that's my thought process. It just kind of makes sense to me. And I think she's going to work with Contarella. This is not leaks. I'm just saying it makes the most sense to me based on the information provided. So yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. I think Augusta, interestingly enough, and I'll give credit where credit is due, I think she might be Spectro. And I think Bidex was saying that it's possible she could be Spectro. Or maybe I just figured it. No, I think, yeah, because Fusion seems too on the nose. And when you think about it, we don't have a Spectro Frazzle Broadblade character. I know Zani has like a greatsword in her attacks, but she's a gauntlet user. So I think we're still missing a Broadblade Spectro Frazzle character, basically. So I think that might be what she is. We'll see. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to you guys let me know what you think in the comments, but that's my thought process on it. You know, literally the most pretty character that they announced. She's honestly like, you know, some characters are just like, okay, that's meant to be the pretty character. She's very much meant to be the pretty character. I think, you know, like I said, she looks really good. I will admit she's not wearing as much clothes. She's basically wearing a swimsuit with extra steps. That's how I'm justifying it in my head. That's all I can really say. She's wearing a swimsuit with extra steps. But it's interesting. She actually reminds me of Luna Oblivion from Punishing Gray Raven. To be honest, I have absolutely no idea what her element could be. I would love her to be Glacio because I just like Glacio as an element. Or it's not an element, my bad. I keep saying element, and I should know better. Attribute. There's a big difference between an element and an attribute. And that kind of digs a little bit into the lore of Wuthering Waves. But yeah, her attribute, it would be cool if she was Glacio, but a lot of people would be like, that's a little bit too obvious, perhaps. I don't know. But let's just, for the sake of conversation, let's just say she's Glacio. So yeah, she's got this ring. I'm presume she will fight with it, potentially. But yeah, like I said, she looks really, really cool. Generally speaking, I think she has a solid design. If you keep it, I feel like for me personally, just for my own sanity, I have to put myself in the mindset of it's a swimsuit with extra steps. This is not meant to be a normal outfit, because no way in God's green earth is this meant to be a normal outfit. This is just a swimsuit with extra steps. But yeah, so, you know, very pretty character. You also see like right here, she's got like a crescent moon on her, in her hair, basically. So I think that's actually pretty awesome. All right, so there we go. There we go. So these, I think, are the initial characters that are going to be relevant to like the main plot when it comes to well, not so much the main plot, but these are going to be the characters at the forefront. Obviously, Lupa is going to be a part of it too. So that's, you know, that's a little bit different. And I've kind of given my thoughts on her, but just generally speaking, I think she looks cool. She's a lot of Punch and Gray Raven players are going to be really excited for her because she's basically this game's version of Vera. It's kind of a mixture. I saw somebody in chat saying a mixture of Feral 21 and Vera. And I'm a big fan of 21. I think 21 was like really cool designed character. You can actually see in Lupa's animations like some scratch marks too. So yeah, Lupa looks really cool. She has like some armor, and then in her ultimate, her armor like disappears. I don't know what it is in fusion characters and like their clothes disappearing, or like the female adult fusion characters' clothes being burned off. I guess that's the meta apparently. Then we have these characters that I think things are gonna get really interesting with these three characters. So let's start with Galbrenna, because we did see her. We saw her in the cutscenes, meaning she's gonna be relatively relevant to the story. 5-star Sanhua. And she looks like a mixture of Sanhua and Yang Yang a little bit. But if in the face, she looks a lot like Sanhua. A lot like Sanhua. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I think she looks amazing. I'll talk about this more in a different video, but you can kind of tell how the tonal shift of Wuthering Waves. And I talked about this in a tweet recently. A couple weeks ago, how like I have a feeling that Renacita, when you think about it from a narrative perspective, it makes sense. But like I said, I'll explain that in a different video. But they're shifting to a little bit more darker side with Septimont than as opposed to Renacita, which in a lot of ways makes sense. So Gal Brenna, right? She looks cool, honestly. She looks very cool. Like even with like the little jacket thing on the back, this very much looks like Sanhua. I like the feather aesthetics. It's given the one winged angel, female one winged angel vibes. And then she has a gun. So, we'll see. Her arms having this little, like these spikes, right? It's interesting, actually. Because Chang Li has a similar design on her arms. It's red, though, down to her hands. But then she has whatever this is. I don't know what it is, but something tells me. You see the bullets on her waist? I mean, on her thigh, like this little thigh belt with bullets on it. This character is about to be insane. I don't know. Like something tells me maybe this character, maybe she transforms. She might have like Kalkuro when he ults and he like has that different mode. It would be interesting to see if she actually transforms too. That would actually be really cool. So yeah, we'll see. In terms of what attribute she could be, I don't know. And I see in chat, I think based on her arm, this could potentially be fusion, even though Lupa's fusion already. But maybe she's later in the patch after we've gotten a couple other ones. But who knows? Maybe she's Glacio. Maybe she. You know what? Actually, Havoc. And I'm not even joking. Havoc. Havoc gun user. I'm calling it. She's a Havoc gun user. We don't have one. So, let me see. Devil, ever bathed in purifying flames. Oh, okay. Actually, fair enough. She's probably fusion then. But